There's Metalworks making his Q&A video debut. Look at that beard.
How's it going? Fat Buddhist Jesus here. Someone called me that once, so I like that. I want to take that.
Well, I think a fair question for Jesse would be, is your beard beta?
Hell no.
They called you God, so.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, that's a good question. You know, we were talking about beta and alpha males before. Jesus kind of fits the characteristics of a beta male, wouldn't you say?
No, because don't remember he went after
Didn't
the
he
bikers.
trash the money? Didn't he like destroy the temple?
Oh
just
my
because
God.
they were.
You're right.
I think he's alpha.
He also said rich
total
people.
alpha.
I think he's
Rich
alpha
people
when it
ain't
comes
got
to
no
his
hope.
matters on his dad. He's alpha.
Although he had his chance to, you know, and he didn't.
Huh, that's interesting.
That's an interesting angle.
Apparently let me see if I can get this working. For video. It's not letting me use I use this app on my iPad that links to my Mac, and it works for Zoom, but it doesn't work for apparently it's not working for Discord. That's weird.
Oh, weird. Is it
You guys
on
won't get to see
but
my
not
beautiful
showing
face.
not showing you video?
Usually what happens is I just open the app on my iPad, and it links to Zoom as soon as I open Zoom, and it just seamlessly integrates like that. And it like over the internet, but it's not even appearing as a video device right now.
Okay.
Let me see if I can
Travis,
consult the internet.
Sorry.
I can't get my computer to even like launch the Discord app, so I'm on my phone.
Travis,
Yeah. Oh, hey, Michaela. Yeah, Bruno. What's that?
you live streaming this?
No, this won't be live, but it will be recorded. We're actually recording right now, so I like to get a bit of the pre-show in there so people can get the idea of what these are.
All right.
Okay.
How's everybody doing tonight? Haven't seen you guys for a while.
Doing good. How are
Very
you doing?
good.
Oh, you know how I be. I'm wearing my Yeah Science shirt with Jesse Pinkman on it,
Yay.
which I'm really excited about.
That shirt is so beta, Michaela. It's unbelievable.
Oh.
That apple on that apple tree is beta.
It's a parody of itself at this point, and it drives me fucking crazy.
I'm excited
you guys,
for your
you guys
questions.
all, like, what was that, Trav?
I'm excited for your questions today.
I am excited for everyone in Jesse Lee Peterson's audience to like talk shit about me the whole time.
Michaela, no matter what your questions are, we all love you.
Oh, thanks.
Or at least I do. I don't know about the rest of these heathens.
No, I don't.
Leave it to Mace.
Jesus Christ.
The booming voice of Mace Starwalk. No,
Hey,
I don't.
today I learned how to choke a guy out with his own collar, so
Nice.
Nice.
Yikes.
I'm like practicing
like
on
nice.
the grappling dummy, and my dog is like
Fucking
laying on the
badass.
dummy. I'm like,
You
dude.
learned to stroke a guy out. What?
Wow, I just came to check that we're still good. But
Yeah. We're
Oh my goodness.
we're ready to go, man.
Yeah, don't mind the retard.
Can you remind us? Can you remind us what your name is, brother?
Huh?
Can you remind us what your name is?
I'm
He's
Nick.
Canadian, man.
You're Nick.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Nice to see you again.
Is anybody gonna make the
Canadian, by the
joke?
way,
I'll make the
Travis.
joke.
Just
Right. Yeah.
saying
You
that.
are Canadian, and you look Canadian.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll put it
Sport.
up. Yeah, I am. I grew up in Canada, yeah.
Yeah. Good.
You forgot my name. I said my name just now. My name is Nick. You have 13 parties a week. Can't learn my name. Okay. Sorry.
All right, guys. Thanks. Just checking out. We're still good.
Yeah, we're all good. Yeah, you guys have your questions ready. There will be some time for a little bit of back and forth, but make sure you give Jesse time to answer your question, and then once he's had a chance to answer, feel free to follow up with something. But we have Jesse for 1 hour, so we want to make sure we get make the best of our time with Jesse, and so make sure you have your questions ready, thought out in front of you. You don't want to be coming up with your question when I call on you. That would be great. But yeah, I'm excited to be doing these again. We are recording now, and I just wanted to welcome you guys to the Pangburn Q&A, Pangburn subscriber Q&A with Jesse Lee Peterson. I'm really excited. When Jesse joins us, we'll get going. Mods, if you guys see anyone while we're engaging with this in the Discord wondering why they can't get into the room, just let me know, or you can just give them the subscriber privilege. It may be because they're a brand new subscriber, but feel free to hand that out. Dave, did you get that?
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay, yeah. It's just you can give it to them through the role.
Hi, Dave. How's law school, homie?
It's getting me.
Oh,
What
is that?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's good. It's good. It's just exhausting. So
That's awesome.
end of a long.
You're gonna be so good at arguing.
He already is a master. I mean,
I know. I'm so proud of you, Dave.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm trying to figure out what I want to talk to Jesse about.
Dave, if I never
Call on
do
Dave
have
last.
kids, can I call you my son?
Oh God.
Oh,
How old are you?
I'm probably not that much older than I'm 33. But.
All right. I mean, I guess it's
You can
technically
please, Dad.
possible to
Yeah.
reproduce at 10.
Hey, don't
Hey.
underestimate the pang.
You know, I thought you were
Oh my God.
26.
Fuck. It took like 10
Yeah.
seconds to get right back to Dick. We never really leave, do we?
No, never.
We're always
So you guys are-
secretly at Dick.
So everyone's around in their 30s around here then. Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah. I'll
Not
be 31
really.
in April.
So nobody's in their 20s, no?
I'm 25. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
Dave is
I
like
gotta
a
give,
thinner still.
I got to give Alexander some.
I'm 20. I'm
access here.
23. Thank you.
Why
Okay.
did I think you were 19? Oh, I don't know.
Where
You're
is
confusing me with Delta.
Yes. With
Huh.
triangle.
Delta 17.
How come I can't see Alexander online?
Every triangle is a love triangle if you love triangles. I laugh every time I see that shit.
I
Where?
love triangles.
Alexander.
playing with-
why can't I
With
get...
magnets. They're so fun.
God.
Magnets.
Um,
Magnets are fun.
Dude, they're magic. They're fucking magic. How do they work? It's crazy.
Quantum
Trying to
fields,
find
man.
Where's your Fanta at?
Quantum, something, quantum, incorrect use of quantum. I have no idea what quantum actually means.
Yeah. The quantum of the quantum is the real quantum question.
You're actually very good at impersonations.
Oh, there.
It's like in
Who's that supposed
Ant-Man.
to be?
It's Deepak Chopra.
Yeah.
It's like in
It's
Ant-Man and Wasp.
Oprah.
You
It's
guys
Oprah
took the word
Winfrey's favorite scientist.
Oh.
fuck. If he's a scientist, we're all fucking. I quit.
He's a
up.
scientist. We're all scientists.
Everyone's a scientist.
Scientist.
Everyone's a scientist.
Yeah, you go to wisdomofchopra.com, they just take words that he says and jumble them up and makes a Deepak Chopra quote. So I just
It's
went.
like a bot.
Yeah, it's a bot that just makes it like you can't tell if it's. There's also like try to see if you can tell if it's Deepak Chopra or like just the generated quote. Like
Okay.
here's one. If I
You know what would be-
information ends immortal fulfillment.
It's so good.
Look, I have to say that if Deepak Chopra is making a poetic, artistic, a poem about a reality then I'm okay with that. But yeah, okay, we got Jesse Lee Peterson. How's it going, Jesse?
Yes.
It's good to have you back.
How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's good to see you. You're looking good. You're looking fresh. You got your blue shirt on.
Amazing.
Can you see me? I have my Canadian toque on. Peace.
Right on.
Yeah.
Is it cold up there?
Not too bad. Not too bad. About where I'm about 2 degrees here right now. So, yeah.
It's 2 degrees?
Yeah.
Wow.
At least it's above 0, yo.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
They don't have any black people over there, right?
We have some. We have some.
Black people can't handle the cold.
Yeah, I think that's generally true. Although Toronto, Canada has a large population, it's much colder there than it is here in Vancouver.
Really?
Yeah. So they do just fine, man. You throw the scarf on, you throw a sweater on, anything's possible.
Amazing.
Jesse,
that's right.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is the Pangburn Q&A. Basically, what's going to happen here, I'm going to try to get through as many questions as possible within the hour that people have a chance to engage with you. You should be able to see some of their videos and some of their little audio boxes on your screen. Yeah, we're gonna go through the list here, and I wanted to start with. Let's start with Villain. Villain, how's it going, brother? Maybe Villain's not quite ready.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead. You're up.
All right, Jesse. I've been following your stuff for a little while. I like a lot. I like a lot of your thinking process. My question for you is a general question to Christians. Why put your faith in Jesus? What makes you feel like that's what's the reason for Jesus rather than just another religion?
Well, you don't have to put your faith in Jesus if you don't want to. You could suffer and just live in darkness all your life. It's really up to you. But if you want to have an amazing life and have a free life, a peaceful life, then you need to have faith in God. Our faith is not in Jesus. Our faith is in God. Jesus is the Son, and when we believe the Son, we believe it into the Father. So our faith is only in God and not in Jesus.
So I'll follow up. I guess what I mean is, why do you find it reasonable to follow Jesus? What makes you? Where's the reason to do that? Is it in the historicity that you believe in, or is it in a personal revelation that you feel, or why do you think it's rational to put your faith in Jesus?
Because we live by faith, and whether you know it or not, or realize it or not, you either you believe in the lie or you believe in the truth. And those who believe in the lie, they are blind and cannot see. Those who believe in the truth, which is Jesus, the Son of God, then you can see, you wake up, you come out of the darkness into the light.
So, Villain, you'll get a chance to come back if you want to with Jesse. I want to move on to one of mine, Jesse. My question, quick one at you. The happiest moment in your life. Tell us about it.
When I hear and see people who return from darkness back to the Father's, and when they return to the Father, I know that they can see and they're going to have an amazing life. Those are the happiest or happiest moments of my life.
And do you see
when
that often?
Wake up,
yeah.
especially with men, because if men don't wake up, then the world is going to hell in a handbasket. The power is in the man, not in the woman.
And do you think that happens a lot, Jesse? What you just described, have you experienced that a lot, or is it very rare?
It's happening more now than it was a couple of years ago. More and more men and women are starting to wake up around the world. So it's happening a lot right now.
Okay. I want to jump to Eliyahu. Eliyahu, you're up.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Eliyahu.
How does the Bible or your Christianity influence your politics? How do you use your religion to make a decision about abortion or about gay marriage or about drugs or any of the political issues? Because I don't think that all of those questions are in there.
Well, when I was in a fallen state, when I had anger, and anyone who has anger is in darkness and they cannot see. So when I was in anger then I couldn't see, and I would accept all wrong things as a right thing because I couldn't see that they were wrong. I just felt, whatever you want to do it. But then when I woke up, when I was able to overcome the fallen state, I am now able to see, and I can see the things that are wrong and the things that are right. But once I used to be a liberal, so I understand how liberal people feel that they literally cannot see because they have anger. And but I hadn't read the platform of the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. So once I woke up, I read the platform and I noticed that the Democratic Party is anti-God, anti-family, anti-man, anti-unborn. They have Satan as their daddy. And so I could no longer identify with that because my values changed. So then I read the platform of the Republican Party, and the platform is for God, family, country, Constitution, freedom. And so that's why I became a Republican.
Does that answer your question there?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I want to jump up to Michaela. Michaela, it's your turn.
Hi there, Jesse.
Hey, Michaela, how are you?
Oh, I guess my question is, I don't know a single young lady my age, 125, single young lady in my generation, who hasn't been physically or sexually assaulted by men. So to hear you say that women are evil until they return to the men, I mean,
until they return to the Father. Satan is a woman's God.
Satan is not my God, and I'm a woman, and I'm an atheist.
Well, Satan is your daddy, whether you realize it or not. And this idea that all the women that you know have been sexually abused, I don't believe that at all, because most women today are sluts and they hate men. They hate men, and so they go to the slut maker. And when they get what they want from the slut maker, the men are slut makers and women are sluts. And so I find it hard to believe that.
Just to clarify, Jesse,
and I've never had sex with anyone and never wanted to. So for you to sit here and say that I'm a slut because
if you haven't had sex yet, you're not a. If you haven't had sex out of wedlock, you're not a slut. But if you have, then you're a slut.
Okay, that's the clarifier. We'll come back to Michaela. Interesting question. Good question. Let's go up to Dal Sue. How's it going, Dal Sue?
Yeah, it was one.
Pretty good.
Yeah, how's it going, brother? I can see you up there.
Very interesting to listen to. Jesse, is it possible for someone to come out of darkness into the light but see a different truth than what you do? Like, might they be able to disagree with your idea of the light?
Well, no, it's not possible, because if you come out, when you're in darkness, Satan is your daddy. And when you come out of the light, when you come out of darkness into the light, God is your daddy. He's your father. And so we become family, spiritual family members. And God is not going to allow you to see different things. The Father will take care of you. So you see everything as I do.
Do you have a follow-up there, Dal?
Amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. Okay, let's I want to jump to Metalworks. Metalworks, you're up, brother.
Oh, jeez.
Metalwork, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. You seem like a really nice guy, man, and I was told by Travis, a lot of people do mistreat you badly and kind of look down on you, and I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, I don't care about that at all. I really don't care what people think or say or believe about me, because I love what's right. I love all people, and it's up to them if they want to be of love. They can be of love or of anger. That's up to them.
And I think you can do that. I just don't know if you do really need to believe in God or not to do that. But
But there's no other way to do it.
I understand what you're saying. You know, the problem is that people, they have to understand that there's just going to be people that they can't just agree on certain things. And
right. And that's fine. You have a right to be wrong or be right. It's really up to you. And that's why we shouldn't hold grudges against anyone.
I agree with you, man.
Do you have anger?
Like any normal person, yeah, but I try to get away from it. I don't hold on to it.
So you do have anger?
Yeah, and I get through it.
Do you know that any male that has anger is a woman?
I think I've heard you talked about this before.
It's abnormal for a male to have anger. That's the nature of a woman. And men are logical, women are illogical. And so when you return to when women return to their father, they then return to a logical mindset.
Well, can I ask you this? Do you ever feel anger?
No, not at all.
I do, but I know better not to, indulge it and let go of it.
But you can't help it. The only way you got to overcome it, you got to have to overcome your mother. She has recreated you in her image. You got to return to your father.
Metal, do you think that's an accurate analysis of your life, like that your mom has created you in some way? No. So what would you?
No.
How did you become angry?
Well, no. I just experience anger like any normal person.
How did you become? You were not born with anger. How did you become angry if it wasn't from your mother?
Well, I think it was from my parents fighting all the time and my brother not being a very nice person.
It was from your parent doing what?
From fighting all the time.
What did that have to do with you?
Well, I always thought it was my fault.
And why did you think that?
Because I didn't want them to fight.
Why not?
Because it was awful. They weren't just like, yelling. They were yelling and screaming and
that would be
always threatening to divorce, always threatening to walk away from each other, just not agreeing on things. Both of them acting very stupid and selfish.
Well, that would be because your father couldn't deal with your mother. Your mother is not a nice person, and we become attracted to what we hate. Your father hated his mother. He ended up marrying his mother, and he didn't know how to deal with her in the right way.
Is it?
I think,
Jesse, I have a question about that. Just a small one.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you ever see situations where what Metalworks just described, where it's actually let's just say under your standard of what a woman should be, is there any of those situations where a man is actually the perpetrator of let's say evil in the home?
Yeah, you can find that because men who are like that, they have their mother's identity. They have been turned away from their father, and because women hate men, and when the children are close to the father, it's the worst thing for the mother to deal with because she wants the world to rotate around her. And so when the mothers turn the children away from the father toward her, they take on her nature. And so there are men who are like that, and they act like women when they're in relationships. They're very angry, insecure, emotional, and they don't know how to deal with the issues of life. Absolutely, you can find that, but that's not his natural nature.
Since we're right here, I'm just going to ask a quick one, and then we'll move to Alexander. What woman have you loved the most in your life? What woman have you loved the most? If you had to pick one.
Well, when I overcame my anger, there is not one that I love the most. I love them all the same.
So you can't pick one. They're just equal across the board?
But when I was into sex, there were different women that I was, having sex with.
Yeah.
The love based on how I felt about them. But real love, the love that you come into, you wake up to, love all people the same. There is no different in that love.
Okay.
But when I was a slut maker, I would feel good about one better than the other, not depending on the woman's attitude.
Okay. Copy that. And then another question. Are you are you single or do you still date? Are you out in the dating world or
No, I don't date right now at this time.
Yeah.
I been engaged twice, but I just you know, what happened is when you overcome that fallen state, you have perfect peace. God gives you perfect peace, and it feels as though nothing is missing. So I don't have that yearning for marriage. I used to want a family. You know, I have a son and two grandkids and a great grandson.
Yeah.
And that's enough for me.
Okay. Let's jump to Alexander, practicing therapist. How's it going, brother?
Going well.
You are up.
So I have so many questions, but I guess I want to understand, and maybe I missed something.
Can you get a little closer to your mic, brother?
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And perhaps I'm missing something because I honestly haven't seen a lot of your talks yet, Jesse. But like in your view, what is the role of a mother and father, like, you know, not like godfather, but biological parents in a child's life?
The father is the head of his wife, and it's his responsibility to bring love into the family. The father, the real love comes from a father. There's an order to life, and that order is God and Christ. Christ and man, man over woman, and woman over children. So the love comes from God through Christ, through the man, through the woman, to the children. And so it's the man love to bring love into the family and to provide for the family. It's the woman's role to watch over his children and make sure that when he's not around, that they're taken care of. And it's her role to cook and keep the house running. She is the vice president and he is the president. So she's the helpmate to the husband as he provides for them. And when the man comes, let's say that the man is out working, he come home in the afternoon, at night. It's his role to check on his children to be sure that the mother treated them in the right way, that she wasn't impatient with them, that she wasn't emotional and angry or tried to turn them away from him.
Am I allowed to ask a follow-up?
Yeah, do a follow-up for sure.
So based on the way you described that, especially I like that phrasing you used of the woman and mother being like a vice president of the home. Compared to what you were saying earlier about the flaws that she would inherently have in your view, that seems like a lot of authority to give her over the children.
What do you mean authority?
It seems, I guess the part I'm not understanding and that seems incongruous to me is that if in your view the mother has all these flaws and this anger and such that she has to deal with, why would you want that kind of person watching the children through the day while the father's at work? That seems like more child time than you would want a problematic person to have.
That's a good question. That's why when you're dating, you shouldn't have sex. The man and woman should not have sex until they get married, because while dating, you can get to see what type of woman she is, and she can see what type of man he is. And then if you see that she has anger or he has it, you would try to get those things resolved before marriage. But most people don't do that because they have sex before marriage and they don't see what they're getting into until the morning after the night of. They realize they married the wrong person, because a man should not marry a woman who has anger. She would not, and a woman should not marry a man who has anger, because that relationship will not work.
Yeah, that makes sense. That clarifies well.
Okay, great. Let's jump down to Zombie Kill a Chick, practicing mother.
Practicing mother, and obviously in that respect, then a proud slut. But hi, Jesse. I don't really know who you are. Can you tell me about yourself? I've never heard of you before. I'm sorry.
I am founder and president of a nonprofit organization called Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. And we are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. We're pointing men back to God so that when they do start a family, the family has a chance to last forever. And we show them how to overcome anger by encouraging them to go and forgive their mothers for turning them away from their fathers or imposing her will upon them, recreating them in her image. And then we encourage them to go to the father and forgive the father for not protecting them from the mother, because the fathers are married to their mothers and they don't know how to deal with the woman. And once they do that, they wake up, they become free, then they can lead their own life. God will guide them in the right way to go. We also have, we tutor, we counsel, best counseling service on this side of heaven. We have an entrepreneur academy. I started this academy to help men with their businesses. There are a lot of men who have amazing ideas of how to get to run a business, but they don't know how to get it going. So we help them do that. I started a credit union because a lot of the guys don't have money to start a business with. So we loan them the money and they put it back so we can keep it going. We're doing amazing things around the world because we're working with men and women now. But the focus is still on the man, but we work with women as well. So I think what most people don't realize is that we are a spirit. And this battle that we're in is not a physical battle. It's a battle between good and evil, right versus wrong. And I've been saying of lately, and there is no such thing as racism, sexism, homophobia, Islamophobia, deadbeat-dadism, white supremacism, or anti-Semitism. It's no ism. That's a made-up lie by the children of the lie. Our battle is a battle between good or evil. You're either on the side of evil or you're on the side of good. That's just the way it is. And once we understand that, we can bring love back into the earth rather than all this hatred that we see happening now.
Did you have a follow-up?
What part of are you from the U.S.? What part of America is your nonprofit in?
I'm in the United States of America, the greatest country on this side of heaven.
Oh, no way, Jesse. Canada all the way, baby.
Well, I kind of agree with you.
And I'm located in Los Angeles, California.
Oh, got you. So you're another West Coast person. I'm just down the street from you in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, man, better get out of there.
Oh, no. I'm fifth generation Oregonian.
The radicals are trying to destroy Oregon.
Well, we do have a bit of a problem there, Jesse, but I think I can take care of myself and my family. And
well, good. Watch out for Black Lives Matter.
Yeah? Why do you say that?
Because I don't know how much you know about them, but it's an organization that was started by a bunch of fat, black, radical lesbians, and they hate lesbians, and they hate good. They hate good. They hate God. They hate the family. They hate men. They hate the unborn children, and they were trained by Marxists or something like that. Something stupid. Watch out for them because they hate white folks as well.
Yeah, we've got a problem with Antifa here also. So
yeah.
Jesse, how do you determine that they're all lesbians?
Well, the founder of the organization, lesbians. I've interviewed them. And
well, that doesn't mean the rest of them are, though, man.
No, I don't know if all of them are. Yeah. I'm just talking about the founder of the organization.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I want to go to Scott Lassiter. Scott, you're up, buddy.
Hey, Scott.
Scott, are you with us? We'll go back to Scott. Let's go to Mace. Mace, you're up.
I am. How many questions are we allowed to ask?
Start with one with a follow-up, and then we'll see if we have time for more in the end.
Okay. What's my best one? I'll ask. So, if you were elected the dictator of the world, would you give everyone equal rights, or would you afford different rights to different demographics? And what would your reasoning be for your decision?
All people in America would have equal rights under the law. as our law used to be before they got screwed up by the liberals, all people have the same rights under the laws. I will make sure that will happen.
Okay, so when I suppose to clarify on that, would because some people, when they say equal rights, they mean equality of outcome, and some people mean equality of opportunity. Which one would you lean towards?
Everybody would have the same rights under the law. You can either go out there and make a life for yourself, or you could suffer and die. It would be up to you.
So opportunity.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
opportunities. I mean, in this country, opportunities are everywhere, but most people are so lazy and trifling, they don't take advantage. They blame other people. They play victim and pretend like they are incapable of doing it. And I would let those people suffer and die, but those who get up and do what they got to do, those are the ones that I would support.
And Mace, why don't you clarify for Jesse what you mean by opportunity of outcome?
Well, I think he's answered the question.
Oh, okay,
He's in favor.
Yeah.
He's in favor of equal opportunity, but
Right.
in case you're interested, isn't it where equality of outcome is where the government is in control of what people do, so that
No.
everyone finishes up with the same stuff at the end.
Yeah. So basically, yeah.
The less government in your life, the better off you are. One of the things that happened to Black Americans is that they gave up their lives to the so-called Black race hustlers, the leaders, and then they gave it over to the government, the Democratic Party, and they have lost that sense of being independent and working for themselves and doing their thing. So they're losing out in America, and now they're trying to force the white people to give them things without earning it. And they are calling it racist, they're calling it all kind of dumb names, but it really is that they are not capable of doing for themselves. And instead of understanding that, they blame others for their downfall.
Scott, are you with us, buddy? Just checking in with Scott. I don't think Scott's there. It's now we're going to.
One other thing I want the men to know is that men need to stop trying to get love from women because women don't have love. And what they're looking for is the love of a father, the real love that is not emotional. You can't feel it, you can't taste it, you can't touch it. It's a light unto your feet. And so the women are looking for the love of the father. Otherwise, they do not have love to give. That emotional stuff they call love, that's evil, and it destroys. It doesn't. That's why if you notice, most of the kids that get love from their mother, they become drug addicts and alcoholics and homosexuals and lesbians, and they become loser in life. But the ones that get the real love, they do very well in life because they can see how to deal with the issues of life.
So Jesse, if you saw like a situation where like a single mother raised like a brilliant kid who went on to live a moral life, you would see that as like an exception to the rule, or would you believe that that she was responsible?
I would know that that person's mother loved her father. She grew up loving her father. She grew up close to her father. And so the father's love and operating through the mother. And so when she raised a child like that, I would know that they're close to their fathers.
Interesting. I want to jump back to Michaela. Michaela, do you have any follow-ups for Jesse? Any further questions?
So it seems to me what I'm getting from this is just pure claim vomit. Like you're just saying one thing after another. Like it's your boilerplate, right? Like you're used to saying it. Kind of, you probably, I mean, obviously I don't know for sure, but you probably just say this stuff more or less automatically at this point.
So what specifically?
How do you back any of these things up? Like saying that, like what you just said about being loved by the mother, those people become drug addicts. What?
They become angry. They blame others for their problems.
I'm hearing you, but you're just making more claims. Like, can we get some substantiation of your many claims?
I just gave you some.
Like what he's basing. So Michaela's asking, just what are you basing all of this insight on, Jesse? Is it your conviction to God reveals this to you, or?
Well, I've counseled with people for the last 30 years around the world, and 99.999% of the men and women who are not happy resent their mothers. and they have their mother's identity. And so once they forgive their mothers for turning them away from the father or impose her will, then forgive their fathers, they become peaceful in life. They can now deal with life because the anger that they had disappear, and now they have peace. It's a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual battle. You would not be able to understand that until you get to know yourself. If you want to know if you want to know yourself, if you want to know if it's true or not, get to know yourself, and you do not know yourself.
But you don't know anything about me. How can you even say that?
I know that if you knew yourself, you wouldn't be asking these type of questions.
I wouldn't have a sound.
You are blind and cannot see.
Because I'm asking for evidence?
Right,
like
because if you were able to see, you wouldn't ask for evidence. You would already see the evidence.
Because I don't blindly accept.
I'm telling you, get to know yourself, and you will see if what I'm saying is true or not.
So I have gotten to know myself, and I see that it's not true.
And what have you discovered about yourself?
That I am actually a good person.
What makes you good?
I love my friends. I do things to cheer people up. I'm a writer. I talk about things that other people can't talk about. I empower my friends to do the same. And I think that makes me a good person.
So you haven't told me one thing that makes you a good person. You're not a good person. None of those things that you've named make you a good person. As a matter of fact, it proves that you're not a good person because you're trying to please others to feel good about yourself.
That is not what I said.
That is what you said.
No.
Okay, well, we'll come back.
You didn't say it exactly like that, but everything you named is all ego to make you feel good about being wrong.
Okay,
you have no love.
We'll come back to
that's pretty harsh, but
we'll come back to Michaela versus Jesse in just a moment. I want to jump to back to Dave. Dave, I think it looks like we have about a half hour left. Dave, what do you got for Jesse?
Hey, Jesse, thanks for doing this. How are you doing?
All is well, Dave. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I just
no man is good. All is well.
Fine by me. So I read something on the internet. So it must be true. I read that you described Andrew Yang as a communist. Is it your position that Andrew Yang is a communist?
Oh, Andrew Yang, that's the guy that
universal income.
Oh yeah, that's the guy that want to give everybody free money and all that stuff, right? And
yeah, universal.
I think that guy needs to be sent back to his country. He's in the wrong country because those ideas don't work in America. So, and I think he's like a Chinese or Asian or something, right?
He's American.
He's an American citizen.
Well, he has a communist mindset, so they need to send it back to wherever he came
communism.
from.
UBI was actually libertarians. There are libertarians that actually like UBI. Just because
he
government program doesn't make it communist.
That guy
unless you're seizing the means of production,
time, guys.
Unless you're seizing the means of production, it's not communism. Unless you're overly expanding government, it's not communism. Republicans made this mistake, and now that's why we have communists, because you've overdid it. You know, social programs aren't communism. Communism is when you force people to work, when you take people's property rights away. All right, I understand communism is bad, but wanting social programs is not communism.
I don't care what you say. Whenever you want the government to take care of you, you believe in communism. You are a socialist. And Andrew Yang is a socialist, communist pig who needs to go back to his country.
He's American, though. He's
Dave,
a patriot.
One sec,
you
Metal.
can't send him back because he's born here.
Hang on, Metal.
He's an American. Let's work that way. That's worse. That makes you the authoritarian. That's the thing communists do.
Isn't he the same guy that got on his knees and let some guy put whipped cream in his mouth or something?
I don't care.
Who cares?
Is that the same guy?
That's right.
No, I'm just trying to ask, is that the same guy?
He's just asking. Was it him?
I'm just saying, Jesse, you're being
I'm asking
unpatriotic
you,
when you say he has to go back.
Metal.
Because he was born here.
Okay, Metal.
That's un-American. You're un-American when you say that.
Metal, hang
Metal,
on.
is that the same guy? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. I don't actually
don't
know.
know.
I didn't know about
I'm
that.
sorry, but
Dave,
I'm very sorry, but I don't like it when people
right,
say
I'll do
stuff
it.
that's very tyrannical like that.
Yeah,
it's
that's
all
And you're
good.
supposed to be
guy.
a conservative.
What? What?
It's all good. Dave, did you have a follow up there?
I did.
Yeah.
I may have forgotten it now. So it's something you said struck me as a little bit odd. So you said that he should be sent back to Asia. Is that correct?
Wherever he came from, I'm not sure where he came from, but he's not an American. That's for sure.
So is it your position that the United States federal government should deport American citizens who do not espouse certain political views? And if so, isn't that a violation of the First Amendment?
No, they shouldn't deport them, but they shouldn't allow those type of people to be a part of our government.
Isn't that a violation of the First Amendment?
No, we're protecting the country. You have all these foreigners coming over here with socialist ideas, and they're trying to recreate America into the same environment that they left. And we cannot allow a country to become a socialist country. Look at what's happening now. All these women taking over government. We're becoming a socialist country. This is why men need to wake up so that they can take back the country, because these women are going to screw it up.
But a second ago, you told me that he should be sent back to Asia. That would be a deportation, correct?
Well, if he is an American citizen, he should stay here, but he should not be in our government. He has a socialist, communist idea as though he were raised in one of those countries.
Didn't you say earlier that you think everyone should have equal opportunities, though?
Right.
So if I wanted to,
he did spray whipped cream into the mouths of kneeling fans. That's
that's Beta. Beta male.
Why is that?
Beta. What?
I'm just curious. When you
go
say
ahead,
that, when you say that he shouldn't be allowed to have a position in the federal government, do you mean that the public should not vote for a person such as that, or do you mean that the federal government should construct laws preventing certain political viewpoints from being elected to office?
The voters in the USA should not support people like that, because their hearts are wicked and they want to turn the country into a socialist society in order to control the people.
Okay, so you don't think that he should be prevented from assuming office or deported? You just think that he has bad ideas and you wouldn't vote for him, is essentially what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Let's go to Eliyahu. Do you have a follow up for Jesse?
Yeah, so this is a different question, but it's kind of related to what you were just talking about. So you called Donald Trump, quote, the Great White Hope.
The Great White Hope.
Yeah, and I've also heard you say you've asked people if it wasn't for white.
Did you see this?
America.
Have you seen this?
See the Trump action figure.
Yes. What does it say?
For every one new regulation, 2 old regulations must be eliminated.
The Great White Hope.
Yeah. And you said if we lose the white people, we're going to become an S-hole country like the countries these people came from. And what I have to ask is, what in the world does their skin color or their race or their ethnicity or whatever you want to call it have anything to do with their politics? And why would you restrict immigration based on what their ethnicity is?
If you notice that, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but the people of color do not build, they destroy. And America was founded and created by white people. It became the greatest country on this side of heaven because those white people who built this country believed in God. And there were a time when people of color would build. When I was growing up down in Alabama on a plantation there, Black people had more character. They had family. They believed in God. They did not believe in government taking care of them. They would not have they would have no other man as their leader. And so they helped. They had a major impact on the country in a good way. But the Blacks sold out when they followed that so-called civil rights movement, which should not have ever happened in America, the so-called civil rights movement, because blacks have not recovered from that. And what they did, they gave up God and they let the so-called civil rights leaders become their head. And the civil rights leaders sold them over to the government. And it's just been downhill ever since. And so I've noticed that white people build and people of color destroy. I don't know anywhere in this country where the people of color have made it better.
So then what are you doing leading anyone if all people of color do is destroy?
I don't lead anyone. I point them back to the source that's in them, which is God, so that God can lead them. Then they cannot be deceived by other human beings.
But if all you're capable of doing is destroying, seems counter, like, it seems like your life bears witness against this point that you're trying to make.
You mean my life personally?
What other life is there?
Are you saying my life or all black people?
Well, you are making these blanket statements about all black people. You are a black person, therefore.
Not all, but most. I'm not one of them. I'm not into the black thing. I'm into the right thing, loving what's right, loving my country, treating all people the way that I would like to be treated, and loving God with all my heart, soul, and might. When I was a liberal, I still wasn't as destructive because I grew up with a family with more values and love what was right. So, but the blacks don't get that now. They're pretending to be victims, and other people using them for their personal gain.
I mean, sure, that happens sometimes, but don't you think that in speaking in such broad blanket statements with no nuance, you're potentially including people who don't fit that description?
Well, that's why I say not all, but most black people weak.
And I just find it quite amazing. I just find it amazing for you to say that, well, America was founded by white people and somehow white people create and other people destroy. I mean, the people who founded the country were slaveholders, and I hope that you wouldn't use that as a defining characteristic of who should be in charge.
Well, not all white people were slaveholders. There were white men who were not slaveholders. And you're right. What happened is that the Arabs went over to Africa and bought black people from other black people who were using those folks as money and everything else, right? So the Arabs bought the blacks from Africa and they sold them around the world. Even in America, there were black people who owned black people back in those days as well, when slavery did exist, something like 150 years ago. And so it was not all white people.
I know. And in the same way that not all white people destroy, not all white people create, not all black people destroy. Are
you in America right now?
I am.
Sorry?
I am, yes.
Can you name me one area or one place or one thing where majority of black people live there and it's a beautiful place to go and live?
I don't think about a people. I think about.
Well, that's the problem. You're not
thinking.
And
just because we can't name them doesn't mean they don't exist.
If it existed, you would be able to name it.
Okay. So the capital of Zimbabwe exists. Can you name it?
That's not in America.
Okay. What's the What? Okay. All right.
I rest my case.
The code of your DNA exists in America. Can you recite it?
You're asking me dumb questions right now. I asked you to name one place in America where majority of black people live,
follow me here for a second.
and you wanted to go live there.
So I said just because they can't name it doesn't mean it exists, and you said that if it exists, then
I bet you can name me places where majority of white people live, and you want to go live there.
Just follow me for a second. You said to name one place where black people live and it's better. So you said that. And then I said, just because we can't name it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And you countered that by saying, basically, yes, it does. If it existed, you would know about it. So I'm pointing out that there are many things that exist in the USA that you don't know about, and it doesn't mean that they don't exist.
Well, I may not know about those things. I may not know my flowers, but I know black people. And black people are destroying America. They're not building.
I have a question, just a quick one in between, and Dave wants to get back in. Jesse, are there black women out there smarter than you?
No.
And is it possible for there to be a black woman out there smarter than you?
Women are not smarter than men, so it's impossible.
So Michaela, who's in the room here, it's not possible that she's smarter than you.
No way.
Okay.
So
women
why
are
do
not
we-
smarter than men. Women are illogical. Men are logical.
And what
men-
about the IQ?
Jesse, can there
So
be
I
exceptions?
would just like to interject there and say that I took you through a series of logical syllogisms that you had a very difficult time following.
Because that was
So-
dumb.
But it's logic.
That
It's
was
textbook
dumb logic.
So
See, I
it's
told
still
you,
logic.
look at
Even if
the
you
way
think
she
it's dumb,
thinks. She has
even
an
if you think it's dumb,
illogical mindset.
just listen to me. Even if you think it's dumb, it's still logic. And you had a
In
harder
your
time with
mind-
logic than I did. Logic is there are rules of logic that exist. I tried to
I
take
asked
through
you
some of
about.
them.
I asked you to name a place in America where black people, majority of blacks live, and you want to live there. You come up with Zimbabwe. That's dumb.
That's not what I said. See,
Whatever
I
you
can't
said
believe
was-
I can't believe that you think that you're smarter than me right now, and
No,
you're not
you are.
following
I
me
can
here.
think of many things to call you. Smart is not one.
Ooh. Throwing shade. I want to go back to Dave.
You are not very nice.
I love you. I'm very nice.
No, if that's what love is, then I'll just take hate.
I want to know what love is.
I want you to show me.
Can I ask
Let's-
something here?
Let's go. Yeah, we'll go to you, Metal, just after Dave. Dave, go ahead.
Sure.
So really quickly, just to answer Jesse's question about places in the United States where Black people are a majority demographically and they're at desirable locations. So are you familiar with, for example, what's colloquially known as Black Beverly Hills in Windsor Hills, California, where 75% of the population is African American and median household incomes are actually above average?
I won't want to live there. It's not safe.
Why is it's not safe?
Right.
If the if the statistics show that
crime rate is
crime is everywhere, man. Be not deceived.
well, crime usually
Now, I
is
do
not
wanna
in
tell you-
affluent areas.
How about you answer
I
the
do
question
want
that he
to
actually
tell
asked?
you that before the civil rights movement, that was a beautiful place. It changed after the civil rights movement started. The woman became the head of the family. The men left or just gave up, and everything went out of control. So it was, when I first moved to LA, it was amazing. But it's not like that anymore.
So real quick, you said that is it your position that a woman cannot love? Did I catch that correctly?
Women don't have love. Women receive love.
So can a mother not love her children then? Is that your position?
Only if she grew up close to her father. And so she has the father's love, then she can love her children with the father's love. But women, and the reason for that, the God above is the man's God, and the God below is the woman's God. And so it's the man's responsibility, because he is a son of God, to bring her out of that hell that she's in.
So you're saying that when a woman is loving her children, she's actually channeling the love of her father, even if he's dead. It's his love.
Yeah, because
Is that right?
she has his nature, and then when she get married, her husband has perfect love as well. So she's still under her husband, receiving that love that's being passed on to the children. Emotional love is not love.
Okay, so what love are you talking about then? Because when I'm talking about love, I'm talking about the commitment to somebody else's well-being to the point where you are willing to detriment yourself. So your love for your children, your spouse, your family, your country, you're willing to sacrifice in order to facilitate the well-being of that other entity. That's what describes love for me.
Well, that love comes from God through the man. And that your first commitment is to God. And then you would treat all people, including your wife and children, in the way that you're being treated by God, with perfect love.
But it seems to me that women can also exhibit that property. They can also commit themselves to the well-being of, for example, their children. I've seen many mothers sacrifice greatly. And if that's the definition of love, then they are, in fact, exhibiting.
That's not the definition of love. The government will do that for you. But if I'm telling you once again that if they grew up as little girls close to their father, they've not been turned away from their father, then they will grow up in perfect love. And when they get married, they would marry a man who is like the father, perfect love, right? And then they would be able to love their children with the right kind of love, and there wouldn't be these issues that we have in families now.
So are you saying that all love originates with God the Father, and that men and women channel God's love to other entities on earth?
If they have returned to the Father, absolutely.
So your position is that both men and women can love, but the love is actually the love of the Father, the God in heaven, essentially, is the source of all love.
If it's from God, which is not emotional love, absolutely. If a woman, let's say that a woman have become like her mother, she can't, she has that anger, she's overreacting, she's insecure. If she went and forgave her mother, hey mother, I'm sorry for hating you, for being impatient with me or imposing your will or trying to control my life, I realize now that you couldn't help it. If she going to say, hey, I'm sorry for hating you for that, then God will forgive her and return her to his love, which was her nature before she was spiritually traumatized by her mother. Then she can love as well. And it's not her love, but it's God's love operating through her.
Okay, good questions, Dave. I want to go to Metal. I said I'd give you a moment here, Metal. And then after Metal, I want to give Bruno an option.
All right. Now, I want to apologize earlier. I'm sorry for that outburst. I was multitasking, and
you have anger.
Well, because I have a lot of issues with communism.
I tell you, just like a female, any man that has anger, any male that has anger,
he's the bearded lady.
Amazing.
But
go ahead, Metal.
So the thing I'm going to ask is so what is proof to you? If I like said if I showed you there's a box over there and you saw it, you would say there's a box over there, right?
Right.
Now, what if I said a government institution said there's a box downtown? Would you believe it, or would you not trust it because it's from the government?
I will wait and see. If I wanted to check it out, see if it's true, I will go and check it out. I wouldn't believe it just because they said it.
Is it because it's from the government, or just because someone said it in general?
Because someone said it, period.
Okay. Now,
you always have a wait and see attitude about all things, because until you see it for yourself, you don't know if it's real or not.
So
wait,
now,
wait
if
and
I was
see
to show
if
you,
you're smarter than me.
Hold on a minute.
Let me finish here. So let's say if I showed you like, some researchers did research looking at like, oh, here's a large influx of immigrants. A lot of them make a lot of money. They keep going to high-end fields, and they make more money than white people. And most white people are poor because this is a more majority white person country. So yeah, it would make sense. The majority would be white people. But it's still strange that so many immigrants, the majority of them come here, seem to do pretty well. So especially when some stats show that when they're like from poor countries, like Africa or something.
Yeah, Metal. What you're kind of getting at?
They do pretty well, but even if they're poor, even if they aren't doing like even if the African isn't like working in like a science field, if he like a taxi cab driver, he's doing well because he's not part of the culture around here, the black culture around here that seems to have a victim culture that sets itself up for failure. So when you say immigrants are coming in here, possibly destroying, I see the opposite on some of them when they come here legitimately.
Or some
they don't come here illegally.
Yeah. So are some immigrants doing good things for the country, Jesse?
Is he talking about illegal aliens or those who are coming in?
No, legally, not illegal.
What I've noticed up until lately, is that most of the legal immigrants and even the illegal aliens, at one time when they came into this country, they would work hard, they would save their monies, they would use it in the right way. But now that the government is offering them free stuff, most of the illegals and some of the legal ones too are coming in just for the government handouts. And so they're not coming in working hard and doing what they need to do to make it in this country, because the government is setting them up to use them to get a vote, especially the Democratic government.
Why do most of the legal ones that come here do pretty well, though, financially?
Because they tend to come and work very hard. They get an education. They work hard. But even those that come here and work hard, the ones who are not working hard and making it their own way in life are jealous of them, and they would go after those type of people.
Okay, Metal, I want to jump to Villain. Villain, I want to give you another crack here. Do you have another question for Jesse?
Yeah, Jesse, I have a quick one and then a follow-up on my previous. Are there any Christian sects or Christian leaders that you agree with and that align with your philosophy, or are you a lone wolf?
Over the years, I've met a couple that agrees with it, but most don't because they're intellectuals and they cannot see. They have studied the Bible, and the Bible has made their ego feel like they know God, and they really don't. They know about him, but they don't know him because intellectually they're blind and can't see.
Then I have to follow up my previous question earlier. I'm going to try to rephrase it. I've met people from different religions all over the world that kind of give the same testimony as you do, that it's just true and I can see it and you can't. So when a Muslim tells me that, and a Buddhist tells me that, and a Hindu tells me that, and different people tell me that.
Just sorry, guys. Zombie, can you mute, please?
Cell phone in it for me.
I'm just gonna give her a server mute. Sorry, continue.
So Jesse, with that being said, all these people say that it's just true and I can see it and you can't. What could let you know, if possible, what would tell you that you were wrong? How would you know if you were deceived, Jesse?
Well, if you're not seeking God in the right way, you wouldn't know that.
You, Jesse Lee Peterson. If Jesse Lee Peterson was deceived, how would you know that?
If I were not seeking God to overcome that fallen state, I would not know that, because most people in darkness don't realize they cannot see. And the proof is to know that a person has returned to the Father, he or she has perfect love. And in perfect love, you can see where people are coming from, but they don't know that you can see them. And I have to tell you, Christianity is the best religion on this side of heaven. It's the greatest religion. It's an honor to be a Christian, because Christianity is the only religion that I'm aware of that tells you that you have to overcome your fallen state. You must repent. You must forgive. And it renews your heart from hate to love.
All right. Thanks, Villain. We just have like a minute, so I want to ask Jesse a couple quick questions. Jesse, is it possible for God to reveal himself to you and to communicate with you?
Once you seek him, he will reveal himself to you, and he's inside of you. He's above, but he's inside of you as well.
Now, would God be able to actually communicate with you to, let's say, to give you a new commandment or to give you a new rule for living?
Well, I don't know what you mean by new rules.
Well, let's say can God reveal himself before you and tell you need to do something? Let's just say a life mission.
God is God. He can do whatever he wants.
Okay.
But once you return to him, he will reveal your talent or your purpose in life. He will naturally give that to you.
Okay.
And you will naturally live it.
So now here's where I have a problem, Jesse, with what you believe God can do. Because what if something you believe to be God showed up before you and told you that you had to go and kill a child for him, like in the Abraham story? Would you follow God's wishes and commands to do that, or would you what would you use to differentiate between God and not just a hallucination?
Where are you getting that question from? That's not even your question implied that you don't know God.
No, it's because you said that God can reveal himself to you, right?
God can do whatever he wants. He's God. He created all things.
So if God told you, Jesse, to kill a child, like he did with Abraham, how are you going to keep yourself from killing the child if you actually believe it's God in front of you?
He would never tell me that.
I know that's the common answer to that question.
Because your question doesn't even make sense.
I know.
You're asking a question out of darkness, and it doesn't make sense.
He told it to Abraham, though. We
have the Abrahamic example.
But where's Abraham now?
Well, at the last second, God said, "No, I was just testing you."
Where's Abraham now?
Can you just answer the question that's being asked instead of obfuscating and deflecting?
Where's Abraham now?
No, it's a good question. Dead. Abraham, as far as I know, the character of Abraham, whether he existed or not, is either dead or...
I rest my case.
He dead.
He dead.
Isn't he also in heaven now?
How is that an answer? That's
you guys,
not an answer.
I think there's... I know. We are out of time, though. Jesse has been through the gauntlet here. We need to... I really appreciate you coming, Jesse.
It was fun, man.
Yeah.
Check us out at rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or what is the other one? Oh yeah, JesseLeePeterson.com. All right, check us out. It was amazing.
Well, thank you.
And I'm glad to talk to all of you today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to you and to all your staff, too. Peace.
Yes, sir.
And thank you guys very much.
It was fun.
Yeah.